but I just see you just like in your underwear out on the porch, and then he just gets the garden hose out. And he just hoses down stuff. I said, what happened?
Yeah, I just tried to jump a creek, and I jumped the water part, but there's kind of gravelly looking mud on both sides. But gravel, and where we're from, like you step in the gravel, you're not going to sink much. It's fine. But I went to my upper thighs in some very dark matter that
probably a bunch of cow crap.
Yeah, dude, it smelled bad. It smelled way bad. So maybe I think that all of our precautionary tales we heard growing up about quicksand probably came out of Nebraska.
I was like, well, if I throw a mic on, then I can help others the way that these people have all helped me.
Born in the heart of the Pennsylvania deer camp, with the help of experts, friends, and local legends, we bring you valuable knowledge and powerful stories for your hunting adventures. Welcome to the East Meets West Hunt Podcast with your host, Beau Martonik.
All right, we are live. We're live from deer camp, early season deer camp in Nebraska. So I've got to my right here, I've got Thomas Krick. On the other side, down there at the end of the table, we had to separate. We've got the other brother, Nate Krick, and right here we have Ben Dettamanti.
You nailed it.
I know your name.
Good job.
AKA Shed Crazy. Ben, you were on the podcast. It's been quite a few years now since you were on.
Yeah, it was like 730 days ago. I think that we knocked down that episode. It was a good one.
Yeah. And this is Nate's first time on.
Yep.
Tom, we were just on actually at the time of recording this week. That podcast came out, and I spelled your name wrong.
You did
in the episode. Your last name wrong. I need to update that after this. It's my bad. I thought it was pretty cool because, like, you know, your guy's last name is Krick, and that's how I say creek is Krick.
Yeah.
So
I'm almost wondering we should have, like when we were naming our business, we should have done it.
Played off of that.
But
down by the cricks.
Too late now.
There was a Jared Krick that played for the Huskers during some of our better years, and that's C-R-I-C-K.
Most Cricks are with a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I got that when I put it through, but maybe you should.
I mean, huge mistake.
Instead of me having to go through the trouble and changing the actual like podcast name and artwork, maybe you just change your last name.
Yeah.
We could think about it.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you think?
I think the paperwork's about the same either way. So, I mean, I don't think you have to get a legal filing to change the podcast name, but I don't know. I'm not like a lawyer. So,
yeah, no, I appreciate your thought process on there. And
I'll Google it after the episode.
I do respect your opinion on things, but as we kind of get rolling here, I wanted to start with you, Thomas and Nate, talking about the idea for this camp. So we've been hunting. This is day 5, I think, pretty much 4.5, and hunting early season here in Nebraska, as we did in the other podcast. And I'd recommend anybody go back and listen to that. It's episode 448 or 9, I think, that with you, where we talked about just early season hunting in general, but. Yeah, come up with the idea you have for this camp.
Yeah, Nate and I have felt that through the years, people have, especially in the industry, they just haven't, they've gotten away from the fun side of hunting. And I don't know, I think we just wanted to kind of bring it back to just enjoying good company. And that's what this week's been. And it hasn't been great hunting at all. It's been early season Nebraska whitetail hunting, which is just hit or miss. And it's been kind of a miss just because of the weather. It's like touching 90 today. We had a few early days this week that were better weather-wise, but yeah, it's important for me, Nate, to just have great community, and I think it's easy to just get stressed out in the fall and not enjoy it like you should. So, Nate, I don't know what you have to add.
No, that's it. It's all about just the hunt camp vibe and camaraderie with everybody. And I mean, we're hunting for a few hours every evening. So, I mean, we've basically been able to just shoot the bull for full days with all you guys, which has been awesome. So,
yeah, no, that's it. It's fun. You know, as I was planning to come here and stuff, I do what I typically do on trips, and I start like overthinking things or like really trying to plan stuff out. And I was like, finally, I'm like, listen, I'm just gonna go there and just feel it out. Mm-hmm. Not gonna. I don't really know how to hunt these types of areas, so me looking into it, I don't know as much of a benefit. Just get there and kind of kind of feel it out. And it's been cool, and everybody at camp. And we also have Joel Burham here, and we also have Josh Ilderton from the Untamed, and which they'll be jumping in here in a little while on the podcast. But just to have everybody together, I think is super cool. And it's really important to me to carry on those deer camp traditions, and that we have so strongly in Pennsylvania and other places, just getting together, having fun, celebrating successes, celebrating failures, not really celebrating failures, but being there for each other with it, and just having a good time, no matter what with it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really easy to just get in the kill mentality, I feel like, during the fall, and just forget about like what got all of us into it starting out. So
yeah, even in our hunts, like if something, if we have success, we're like, let's get back, let's get home, let's get on to the next hunt. When we just like, no, let's take a little more time to just like, the reason we like this is because of being outside, being able to just soak in nature and have time with people and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think when you start doing it for a living too, you kind of lose some of the hangout vibe. Mm-hmm. Like, I know one of the things I loved the most about hunting early on was just like going to camp and spending that time. But now, especially like you get into the industry or whatever, and you meet people who do this for a living, and you become friends with them, but you can like almost never hunt together because they're always on such a tight schedule. Your content's planned, your hunts are planned, and it takes specific effort to get everybody in the same place for a while. And I think that's what makes this so fun for me, is just being like, no, it feels like deer camp.
Right. And it takes commitment. Like, obviously, like Tom and I had some work to like plan this all out, but also it takes a choice from everybody we invited here to be like, you know what, I'm going to take time out of September. It's September 11th. I mean, there's a lot of bugling elk. There's a lot of muleys that get shot. I mean, we're here hunting whitetails in the heat. But that's what I also appreciate about this group, is they made that choice. We tried to do it last year, and honestly, it was like basically within the last couple weeks, I mean, everybody was just falling off. And I'm like, that's part of the issue of why we think this is so important, because people have their fall schedules, and it's just, I mean, individual success, which is great. I mean, you've got to have that too, but just being able to prioritize the time together with everybody is important.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it is hard. Like, it was, I was sitting there weighing it of like, man, drive 15 hours to go hunt Nebraska there, and honestly, it came down to I just wanted to hang out with everybody,
right.
and that was the main reason for, obviously shooting a deer or something would be super cool too, which we're going to do tonight, but it was more just like, okay, this is, I think, a really cool way to kick off the season. At least that's my first hunt of the season, just get together. Ben's out here, he's already shooting elk, but
yeah, man, I'm already kicking ass, taking names. So
yeah. And so, like, Ben, just to kind of start with you a little bit, you're from Utah and primarily a big game hunter. What do you think about whitetail hunting? You've done it obviously before.
Yeah, I have. I've done it in a few different scenarios. I haven't done the public land thing a ton on whitetails, and that's always something I feel like has been a gap in my experiences. Mm-hmm. I've done like early season whitetails. We had a lease in Kentucky, but it was like deer paradise. I mean, so many deer. Then I've done some late season stuff in Texas and Ohio. So I mean, I've been there, but this type of public land, like where you're doing the scouting and where you're learning, like, and getting permission pieces and trying to figure out deer movement based off of, pressure and crops and time of year, is like, it's like trying to drink out of a garden hose, because there's so much information in a short period of time. But that's another reason I wanted to come on this trip too, is just to learn from you guys who this is your wheelhouse. I feel like I'm just guessing going into everything, being like, I don't know, that tree looks like I could get into it, so I'll hunt here, Yeah. I feel like it takes me an hour to get into every tree, and I get up there and I'm like, so now I'm hunting? All right, I was just sweating on the ground, like trying to figure this out for an hour. Like, I guess I'm hunting now. All right. Yeah. But it's been fun. It's not like a frustrating thing for me, like not seeing deer. I mean, I hunt areas, I'm chasing elk, and the norm is not seeing elk. So that type of a hunt's okay. But it's a good learning experience, and gives a lot of context too. People talk about public land whitetails being so hard all the time, and to be able to come try it, see it from their point of view, I'm like, oh yeah, I get what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, all the spiders and bugs
Oh,
and everything
man.
in the woods right now.
This place is spider
How
central.
many thousands did we swat this morning?
Yeah, we all just kind of a lot of us got covered in seed ticks.
Dude, I'm going to talk about them again. I won't be able to sit here kicking them.
I took the funniest video of Ben this morning walking to the woods. He's swatting with a spider stick. He's going through, and he's just like, and all of a sudden he goes through, and his spider stick just falls in half, and he's just like, you can see him just throw like a little fit, and he threw it on the ground, and then he looks up and sees that I'm sitting there filming him. He's like, jeez.
Spider. Who knew a spider stick was a thing?
Yeah, it was funny. I posted it on my Instagram story the other day, and a guy that's been following me and I've known for a while messaged me. He's like, "It's that time of year again." Beau starts posting his spider stick,
No kidding.
stuff, and so I'm gonna come out with the East Meets West spider stick here.
Dude, that's hell of an idea.
Carbon fiber.
Or, yeah, maybe it'd be a Timber Ninja product out of carbon fiber. You know, yeah, everybody needs it.
Yeah.
It's just got like a little silent vacuum cleaner at the end. You just suck them up.
Or it could be like electrically charged.
Jab them.
I like
You're like sneaking into like this buck bedding area. Just
Dude, these are big suckers too. Like
Yeah.
down in Kansas, we have these black little things that I don't really care to run into. But like these suckers up here, just an hour.
like a half a pound.
Yeah, those suckers will.
Dude, I can't. We came out. We were walking on the gravel road out the other night. Harrison, when he was filming with me, we're coming out, and he's like, "Look down on the ground." He showed his headlamp. I was like, big. This one's a big black one. Like just, he only had six.
Meaty.
He only had 6 legs, and he was still crushing it.
Dude, he's an amputee and out there just killing it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. That I
It's
mean,
kind of inspiring though.
yeah. I know. It made me think like this wasn't really that hard for me to go in there, able-bodied, climb into a tree and pass on a 3-point.
Yeah.
So that's but the spiders, the bugs, the everything. This time of year is just like my hands are. I have little dots and bites. I don't know what that's all from, but all over me from just getting hit by things.
Yeah, it's like I posted on our Instagram, like just a love hate right now. Like for this hunt, it's just it's there's highs and lows, but the weather's never like the creatures are never great right now.
Well, there's so much food. Josh and I were talking about it last night when we were out. We're like, man, they could eat in the corn. They can still eat in the beans. They can eat acorns that are dropping in the timber. Because when I looked at it, initially looking at the maps and stuff, I just think of timber being where deer bed at. But I watched that one little buck. He was bedded in the beans, and they were high enough that he just appeared out of them, and then he laid his head back down, and you couldn't see him again.
Yep.
It's like, man, it's.
With the crops in,
Yeah.
I mean, I bet more than half the deer are in them right now.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes
That's
it
when
almost
we had-
impossible.
A couple nights ago, 2 nights in a row, we had bucks stand up in front of us in the beans, just right out of the beans.
And they won't get within 100 yards of a field edge because they know what they're doing, and they're just
they got all the food in the world.
yeah.
Yeah, the vast majority of the places that they live is just places you could never see them. Like you're trying to catch them in such small openings, and they have to just move exactly perfect to be anywhere that you could ever shoot them. So it makes it tough. It's a guessing game.
Well, the first morning I drove around and was trying to glass, but it's like if you don't catch them in that first light, because they're probably going to be bedded down pretty early at this time of year, then you're kind of screwed. And it's not like you can't go around and check 10 different properties and glass them like you could during the rut.
got one or
something.
two.
Like you're like you can hit that, and then you're just like, okay, that's the rest of it until the evening time frame.
And just how like it's just rolly enough here that like you just can't see what you want to see.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was super interesting to be able to see that. But like so Ben, with you coming in here, what did you do kind of going into it? How did you go into these pieces of public and just go hunt?
I lean a lot on these guys, obviously, who have the experience here, and kind of have them, looked at these with me, and a lot of it was just their ideas on what they thought would be good. But yeah, just try to walk in a way, and like, as a Western guy, I don't put any thought to the way that I walk into a place to hunt. You know what I mean? So that was like being intentional, not necessarily walking where the deer are going to be for the scent and then paying attention to which way your wind's blowing. Like that's just new information to me. I don't even mess with that stuff. So being strategic that way, and then also trying to find hidden places where the deer could get up, where they could feed that weren't visible from a road, that weren't glassable. And then looking for things like, crop damage on the end of the beans to see if the deer are feeding there, but just paying attention. Like I feel like on the whitetail side, you have to be so much more observant. Like in the mule deer and the elk world, I'm looking for tracks and sign, obviously, but like mostly just looking for critters. Mm-hmm. But here, like, you're always watching the trail, looking for track, and just noticing the little things, playing the wind, just the stuff that is probably the most basic to whitetail hunters, probably just instinct at this point.
I mean, yes and no, because I feel like there's a lot of such a reliance on trail cameras so much that like those woodsmanship skills can get lost pretty easily if you're not intentional about it.
Yeah, if I could start the week over, I would just tell everybody, like, don't stop until you find fresh rubs, because that's like those are fresh in the last week. Mm-hmm. And like that's where, because deer, they're shedding their velvet and they're starting to amp up a little bit. I think where we've seen our bucks, there's
sign's been obvious.
Yeah, it's been like, okay, there's like, you texted me whatever night that was, Tuesday. Tuesday, or Monday. And you're like, I'm gonna see bucks tonight, because it is just like nothing else but like you saw a bunch of fresh rubs and
tracks, fresh rubs, dropping acorns. Beans are still green. I'm just like, that's the combination this time of year you got to have.
Yeah.
And sure enough, saw 4 different bucks that night.
Well, the acorn thing's something that never would have crossed my mind either. Like I don't look for them when I'm walking in and stuff, but after hearing you guys talk and seeing you use those layers on the maps and stuff to pull up the oaks, like that makes a lot of sense.
Do you know what they look like?
Some of them, like I saw some today when we were out there walking around. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like really, honestly, no. Like if I were to walk into a piece, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a tree. That's an oak tree. That's what we're looking for.
Just looking kind of on the ground, just seeing.
Yeah, just seeing what's on the ground.
Yeah, and it's with tree identification, like that's something that takes a long time, and even here is like, I know what oaks look like because we have those at home, but there's all these other trees. I'm walking around with the picture of this app, taking pictures to try to be like, oh, that's what this is. That's what this is, and trying to just learn what it is, and I don't really run into poison ivy much, and then I don't remember who I was with. Maybe it was Harrison on the first day or something. It was like, oh yeah, there was a bunch of poison ivy in there. I gotta make sure I go shower. And I was like, And then I'm sitting there the other morning when I hunted. I'm like, there's 3 leaves there. Take a picture of it. It's like, all right, that's poison ivy.
It is thick, and the deer actually love it. So, but it's everywhere.
That's a whole nother food source. Like even just walking through the timber today, just how many broadleafs there are in there that are still green. I'm like, they don't even need a bean field.
No,
there's just so much growth that's still living right now. That's just
and they probably prefer that stuff.
Yeah,
as much.
And like, why leave the timber when you can just hang out there and you got acorns dropping, you still have a bunch of green browse. It's like,
well, there was a patch I was sitting over, American hog peanut, which is like, here's a picture of it. What it looked like a patch of that stuff. There was a lot of it, so I was looking it up while I was in the tree, and apparently deer like that too.
I'm sure they'd hammer that.
I didn't get close enough to see, but it was like right outside that bedding area in that property, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It's just a lot of green leaves for them to eat on.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw it too, but the nettles where we just were, they were just hammered. They were all just nipped like crazy, and then
once your legs start to itch, then you're like, yep, that's good deer food.
Yeah.
Something about them.
I'm like, leaves, cool.
Yeah.
yeah. Sticks.
Oh, and Ben, you learned a lesson about some sinkholes too.
Oh man, yeah, quicksand. I'm calling it quicksand.
Yeah.
So maybe I think that all of our precautionary tales we heard growing up about quicksand probably came out of Nebraska.
Yep.
That's probably what it's from.
That makes sense. So what happened?
I got a little bogged down. You guys ever seen like a cow that tries to cross a mud flap and gets stuck? That's what I felt like. I was even probably mooing a little bit out there. But yeah, I just tried to jump a creek, and I jumped the water part, but there's kind of gravelly looking mud on both sides. But gravel, and where we're from, like you step in the gravel, you're not going to sink much. It's fine. But I went to my upper thighs in some very dark matter that
Probably a bunch of cow crap.
yeah, dude, it smelled bad. It smelled way bad, and it was a bit of an ordeal trying to get out of it. I was like flopping around in the mud a little bit. And
was there ever like a oh shit moment?
oh man, as soon as I went in, I'm like, oh dude, I'm like stuck. Mm-hmm. And so I threw my bow to the other shore over there, and I'm like,
It's not like Christopher Columbus,
right? Yeah, like up on the bank, and I pulled my one leg, and like my boot just came off, and I just watched it sink in the mud, like saw it all collapse over the top of it. I'm like, son of a bee. So I'm trying not to put my sock foot down, and I'm trying to like find a rock, feeling around with my sock foot, and I was like, I'm gonna have to just go for it. So I stepped out, and then I lost my other boot. I pulled the one boot out, threw it on the shore, got the other one, got it back on, then put my foot in my muddy boot and walked out. And I was not happy.
Yeah.
Not having a good time.
Well, I came back. I'm out here, and Ben pulls in, or maybe you were out here already. I can't remember who came home first, but I just see you just like in your underwear out on the porch. I'm like, okay, I made a big scent control guy. And he's serious about it. And then he just gets the garden hose out. He just hoses down stuff. I said, what happened?
Yeah, it was quite the night. Probably a scent control thing, smell like mud. Maybe it's good, but yeah, I just hosed off everything.
Which place was that at? Which night was that?
That was the first night that I went into that permission piece.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was kind of where you guys had been the night before.
Yep.
Right in that creek.
That was in the dark, right?
Yeah, I never saw it coming. And then I got...
Oh, it was in the dark. I didn't put that all together.
Yeah, I got attacked by a praying mantis on the way out, too. It was a long...
Those things are kind of vicious.
Man, it kept coming for me. It was like, like that long, probably weighed a pound.
Yeah.
And I had a spider arrow already out, so I had like a broadhead, and I was like trying to Princess Bride it. And I was out of the air, but I just never got it.
You need that Timber Ninja zapper.
Dude, it felt like, honestly, I was on a quest when I was coming out of there. Like, I ended up on a side quest for sure. But I survived.
Yeah. Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just trying to get through it. But so what about you guys? So you guys have been in deer pretty good from the very beginning. Like,
yeah. So our first two nights, our first night, I mean, we saw a potential shooter, but it was just no shot opportunity through super thick stuff. Honestly, we heard them somewhat early in the evening, like when you were setting up, like completely downwind. And I turned to you and was like, is there cattle on that side?
Just could hear like them walking through beans.
It just seemed like too loud. Like I was like, there's something like big moving over there. I thought it was cattle, like a loose cow or something. And 20, 30 minutes later, more of that, and then see whitetail jump the little creek that Ben sunk in, and
he was right underneath it.
Yeah, we just got glimpses, but then it sounded like he was scraping, like you could hear like the and then like you asked if he had been shot because like he was coughing a ton as well, but there were at least one or two bucks. I think there was a bigger one and then a smaller guy, but I mean, I let out a grunt or two, but never really saw them again that evening. But then we split up, and you went to a permission piece that only we were allowed to get on, and you saw, like we already mentioned, fresh sign and bucks in that field.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where, I mean, we have the home court advantage just living here forever. And like coming down here, I was like, okay, we have several lease options, which that landowner's told, I got approval. Like he's like, yeah, anybody can hunt pretty much. So I was like, okay, we'll just disperse over that stuff. And then obviously there is a lot of public stuff, but literally driving down here, it's like, I should just check with a few other people, some like turkey permission people, some just random folks I know down here. And that's how we turned up a couple other options. They were more just like, hey, you and your brother, if you want, you can go look at it. And that bottom, where I saw those bucks the first two nights, we've shot a bunch of turkeys on it. We shot one muzzleloader deer on that piece, and it's always surprisingly good. It's where you picked up the sheds with us,
okay,
with your 50 states. So, yeah, I mean, it's a cool farm. It's just kind of like a transition zone in between a bunch.
Isn't that impressive?
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Overrated.
But it was we got into deer just because I think, one, they hadn't been pushed around, but I don't even think the public had been pushed around. Like, it seemed like we were alone out here. So it was just kind of like the perfect combination of had the food right, I don't know, they had their safety and cover and stuff like that. But
Ben, when's your European shed tour kick off?
Oh, there's some international tensions that have to settle down first. We'll see. My private security detail said I can't go to a few places yet, so kind of waiting for some stuff. It's happening.
Yeah, so for anybody listening that doesn't follow Ben, which you should, at Shed Crazy, go check him out there. But you did a tour where you found a shed in all 50 states.
Yep.
Which is, like you said, not that impressive, but it
took him forever.
Cool.
But
yeah, I mean,
get
how many
through
years did that take him?
2,
5, 6.
Yeah, it took me 2 whole years. It was a lot. I thought I was going to do it in a year when I started, and I got about 15 states in. I'm like, nah, it's not happening.
There's kind of a limited time of the year when you do that too.
What was the toughest? I mean, besides, like, not outside of travel, but like just trying to like find sheds.
I had a hard time in Indiana, which surprised me because on a map, you'd think the numbers are good. There's quite a bit of public, but I was there at a time of year where most of it had been hiked. Most of the sheds were picked up. So I think I went 3 times before I found one in Indiana. But I think it was just that could have happened in any state where I was relying heavily on public land and later in the season. So that was tough.
Did you do any door knocking to pick up sheds?
Only like twice. Yeah. Yeah. And it was more like I ran into people like out farming.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people reach out, though, just through social media. They're like, hey, I got a little farm. You can go hike. And and then I met up with a lot of guys like you guys that had legitimate pieces dialed in. So that helped a lot.
I'm just upset you didn't call me. It originally said you were going to call me and you didn't call me.
I did, actually. I tried you and you didn't. You screened my call.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's what Ben told me.
Yeah, I called. I think I called.
The reason why I screened
times.
his calls, he's like, you know what? Can you go and put a shed out there for me? I said, no, dude.
Yeah, he did the same with us. We stacked that. We were like, one shed's not going to cut it. Let's do 5 or 6.
It was a little
I'm
suspicious.
just kidding.
It was a little suspicious.
You found like 5 or 6 with them?
Oh, like in a corner.
We
Literally
had never
at the end of the walk.
we'd never
We've never shed
even
nothing
thought of looking for sheds there, honestly.
Yeah.
And like beforehand, we were like, are we going to like just screw Ben over and not find a shed? But no,
We knew it was a good deer farm, and we like had done like a whole big loop. I had picked up one, and then like we were like towards the end of the walk, and we just went through this grassy field, and we picked up freaking.
Hey,
4 or 5.
and it was you wanted to skip over it. You wanted, you wanted. You're like, nah, dude, I've had it with this shed hunting thing. I was like, no, you got to go check out that corner, and I was doing my own thing, and you guys called me, and you're like,
We found some decent antlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you found a good set, and then like I found a couple good singles, and like it saved the day for sure. It was cool.
Yeah.
I would have been pissed if we didn't find one.
Yeah.
Hey, there he goes again.
Yeah.
Just putting you down.
Right? Yeah, that's what he likes to do. I left the camera running last night, by the way. I got like 8 minutes of you just going off at the.
It wasn't going off. It was just a loving discussion about not a great shot.
So I guess we might as well get
It's out of the bag now.
get
That's
into
true.
that a little bit.
Well, Nate, do you want to start with the hunt?
Yeah. So I texted a guy, got another permission piece. I just got like a Rolodex of options, but he was like, yeah, go ahead and hunt. It's right off of a public piece too. So went in there, and it was the same thing we've been talking about. I was like, right away, I'm like, this is going to be good. There's just a ton of cover. Basically, it used to be just a bunch of crappy timber. He took it all out, didn't put anything in it. So it was just open dirt, and now it's just like over your heads, weeds, just food, sunflowers, just like honestly like a really good cover. But I was catching big buck tracks on the field edge, and there were oaks. I had a pond to sit over, and it was like our warmest day of the week so far. So I got up in there, and not long into the sit, it was like 6:40. I saw a deer, got glass up on it, didn't see it for a while, and then I saw him running back into the trees because he had caught my wind. My wind was like a full-on gamble because I just hadn't hunted the piece before, and so I was like, I'm going to send it over the pond, actually, thinking that I know they can't come through the pond, so they're going to have to go around, so I'm just like going to send it over, and ended up working for me. But I don't know, probably 20 minutes after that, I was like just glassing hard, like nonstop, just doing circles, just making sure nothing's crept up on me. And I just look over at the pond, and there's 3 bucks drinking out of the pond. I'm like, that's convenient. And they're all like 70 to 80 yards. There's like probably 2 2-year-olds, and then the deer I ended up hitting, who was 3 or 4. I couldn't tell. But when I saw that deer, I was like, that deer, if he gives me an opportunity, like, he's just going to have to get shot. This week, I've been trying to just shoot a doe, because me and Tom, with our fall schedule, we were planning on me having my statewide archery buck tag be filled out west for mule deer. So I was like, going this week, I was like, okay, Tom needs to shoot a buck, I'll shoot a doe. But when I saw that deer, I'm like, dude, I mean, that deer's going to die.
I wasn't with you.
You weren't, you weren't with me. I was like, this deer camp is just freaking awesome. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to, you don't often have an opportunity to shoot a really good buck with a bunch of buddies. I'm like, I'm absolutely smoking that deer if he comes in. So then one of the young deer, like I said, my window's going straight over that pond. One of the young deer gets nervous and ends up trotting in. And then the bigger deer and the other one just like kind of followed him in. I was like, they're not really spooked, but I mean, I'm seeing good stuff. So probably another 20, 30 minutes goes by, and I'm just like hanging in my tree. And I just like look down to my right, and I just see him working, like within bow range already, just like working straight to me. And I'm like, alrighty, here we go. So I do the thing, self-filming. I'm like, camera on, camera on, camera on. Don't move. He's just watching me, camera on. And just like getting everything ready to go. I hadn't even grabbed my bow yet, because I'm like, he was on my weak side, couldn't even get a shot. He came down to probably 10 yards, and I got some sweet footage of him just kind of like looking. I was like, I knew if anything was coming below me, it was going to be skyline. So I was like, I couldn't move that much. He ends up kind of going back behind me, which no shot with the saddle, and then did a wraparound. Came to basically hit the bean edge, the edge of like all this grassy cover and the bean edge. And I was ranging it before. I was like, it's going to be like mid 40s, like totally in range. So he hits that edge. I get all my cameras ready to roll, and he starts just working that edge. Get to his opening, draw back, settle. And I'm like chill. I was like, find your spot, settle in on him, release the arrow, and like watching the trajectory, hearing the sound, I was like, I think it just torched him. Like, that was my initial thought. I was like, that sounded like a double lung pop. My arrow trajectory flight, just like it looked like it was right in there. But like, I could only see the top few inches of the deer because there was so much grass and cover and stuff like that.
But like,
so I couldn't see.
It wasn't that thick.
No, it
like
wasn't.
You could see like good parts of his body throughout.
Yeah.
Like he honestly, like looking at the footage, he landed in a little bit of a window.
Yep, he did. Yeah. And so, yeah, I put it low knowing that he was like kind of knew something was up. And he just hauled butt and ran probably 60, 80 yards and then stopped. And I couldn't find him for like 5 minutes. I'm like, did he tip over? I didn't hear him. Like, I mean, sounded good and I haven't seen him, so he could be dead. And then sure enough, I watched him move out of there and walk into the timber. I probably watched him for like 15 minutes. So I called Tom. I was like, hit one, not sure. And basically from that moment, I just got more and more, less and less confident in what transpired of me filling the tag on that thing. Came back. We looked at the arrow for a little while. I got like, I don't know, probably 10 to 12 inches of penetration on him. Ended up not being a pass through. Came in like in front of his shoulder, like base neck. And then I think it hit the offside. I think he was like kind of quarter and two. So I was too far forward. I just needed to suck it back behind that shoulder. And we looked for him for 6 hours this morning. Found blood. I mean, we probably tracked him for a few hundred yards, probably 300.
Yeah, we probably had blood.
Me and Tom looked for 4 hours, probably, maybe more than that, and then called in reinforcements, and then Mason found blood, and then we tracked him for another, I don't know, however long. But, I mean, he's living on that shot. I mean, he obviously, artery didn't get hit, and if artery doesn't get hit with that shot, I just think
it looked like the last blood we were on, it was just like that bright red muscle blood.
Yeah.
So,
which is a bummer. I mean, like last year, I hit one bad with the trad bow. I'm just on, my compound shooting has been great. I haven't hit an animal bad with the compound in a long time. And so it's just like a wake up call too, just be like, you can't be complacent. Like, you just have to be like
you have to be perfect on every single level to be able to make these things happen, especially at whitetail, like mid 40s. But just with the amount of shooting and hunting experience I've had, I'm like, I just shouldn't be doing that stuff anymore. But stuff happens still. So
yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, those things do happen. And when we were watching the footage too, like that deer, when you put it down in slow-mo, turned and ducked into it a little bit more. Not saying that it would have been perfect, but I think you would have had a little better of a chance.
Yeah, he definitely turned and ducked in a way that hurt you a little bit.
I was expecting movement just because I'm like, okay, it's 45 yards. He knows something. It's pretty. It was a calm night, so like automatically, like I was just like planning on putting it low. But yeah, you just don't know what it's going to do at that point. But yeah, when we watched it, it was like, I think we were kind of all in agreement of like, you just got to either hope it hits an artery of some sort and he's going to bleed out. Otherwise, it's that deer's living.
Yeah.
My thought this morning going in to find him, I was like, okay, so he had pretty much 12 hours. I'm like, if it was anything that was going to be fatal, he's going to be dead in his bed in the morning. Like if it was any artery stuff, like he would have bedded up and just
or
toast.
Single lung or something.
Yeah,
And he didn't even bed down.
No, we couldn't find it. So I'm like, it's just I think he's living there. I'm gonna. We don't have any cameras up around there, so I'm just gonna disperse some cameras, see if he's still around, and just to see if he made it. Just for honestly, just for intel, just to know. For future experience, just if he lives or not. But
yeah, in all that blood that we saw today and the tracking and everything, I didn't see anything that would indicate a lethal hit. Mm-hmm. And he was never slowing down. There was never lung blood in anything that I saw. So I don't know. It sucks, and it's always you never know, right? Like he could die, but if I was tracking that deer, I would guess that he's not going to die.
Yeah, and then we because we had 8 of us basically in there. Then we grid searched and looked through, and there's a lot of deer sign.
Yeah,
it's a sweet property. Yeah,
like dang good deer sign. But yeah, checked the corn, checked all the trails leading into it, found quite a few buck beds and big rubs. Checked those beds. No
those
blood
buck
in them.
beds were insane,
dude.
Like you don't see that very often. Like we were in the bedroom.
Oh yeah, and it made sense looking at it like after the fact, like on a map. North slope, it's hot. It's kind of cooler on that slope in there.
The vegetation,
just a ton of stem count, blowdowns in there. There was a rub the size of my Nalgene bottle that was just hit right next to a bed there. Historical rubs. I was like, that spot's gonna be good, especially when you have acorns, cornfield down low, and that big pond and a water system going through a creek.
So yeah. it was cool, like to be able to put the not finding the buck aside, scout a buck's bedroom at this time of the year, because we don't bust into that kind of stuff right now. It's a lot, at least on our Kansas place, it's full on sanctuary. We're not getting into any of that, and even hunting right now, I would never be intrusive like that. But now that we were looking for blood, I'm like, you can use it as a scout situation, and just to see what they're using. And it's exactly the combination of what we've been seeing bucks all week. It was acorns. We found really good beds, rubs. The whole time we were looking.
Yeah. Security. And it's just that combo.
So how do you incorporate that information now, right? So you walked in there, you saw the beds, you saw the place, there's obviously bucks activity here, living here. You're not going to hang a stand and hunt that spot, right? Because it's you need it to be a bit of a safe space for them to hold the bucks, right?
Depends what type of the year.
That's something that I'd be early October, I'd be really excited about, because I think as far as beds are concerned, I could see them still, whoever's living there is going to probably be there for the next couple of weeks, I would assume,
and then just on getting into the rut, actually, you just know that it could be holding does, and then just get out on one of those ridges.
The cover we were in is absolutely what you're looking for.
But you would hunt that spot, you would hang in there somewhere.
I'd pick the right day, that cold front day, and I'd be off the edge,
right off it. Yeah.
The hard part about at least for me, and not typically hunting these types of areas, but I hunt a lot of big timbered areas. If I find a bedroom like that, I'm not afraid to go in there even early to hunt it. But the problem with that is you have corn down low, which is probably where they might be at night before they come and then stage up in those acorns and feed and then bed down. and your thermals fall right down towards that corn, it'd be really tough to get in there even early in the morning to catch them coming back to bed, unless you have like that cold weather that they might be on their feet in daylight longer, or how I would use it is like working off of that, of like, all right, working down, maybe, playing it safe a little bit further down the ridge, further, and just off it. There was some trails that went vertically down the hill, from up in that bedding down to that corn, maybe just staying off of that, depending on how the wind would be to go hunt, and just trying to just use it as another piece to that puzzle, basically, is how I look at that.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah. It's but that was really good information. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go back in there today, because we
need some time.
We crushed it. Although there is a back piece of that property that could still be
untouched.
Yeah, because we probably pushed all the deer back there.
Maybe
maybe a spot for tonight.
So there's that, but that was the best deer sign that I'd seen to this point on the trip. Now, I also haven't been intrusive in going in a lot. Like, the piece I've been hunting all week is one of your guys' permission pieces, where you do have a camera in there, so you had a little bit of intel, but there was beans, and I've been trying to be able to see but also be in the game, and I've had does come underneath me in a small buck. It just hasn't worked out yet.
With that spot, I'm just like, you sit there 4 or 5 days, I was just putting the odds that one day that they just roll through there.
Yeah.
Because we've seen shooter bucks using it. It's been one of our more consistent cameras. It seems like it's almost a better morning spot, because deer just get in there around that 7 a.m. time frame. But
yeah, and it's then the one morning that I did actually hunt it, didn't see anything. They decided to go on vacation that day and use something else, which that was an interesting scenario. I was hunting right off the road on the ground, just laying kind of in a bush, and where they were crossing, coming from the neighboring property corn, heading back into that block of timber. But it didn't work out. But it's just that's the name of the game with it. And yesterday, and I'll wait till Josh gets on here to talk a little bit more about it, we tag teamed, getting a little more aggressive, getting in the timber a little bit, and saw some does. But it really depends on the day, and I think they are, at least this is my little experience, it seems like they can be a little bit nomadic, as far as they're not traditionally bedding in those same spots all the time, because the food's changing every day. Acorns are starting to drop, beans are starting to yellow up, and I do think that spot might even continue to get better on that property, because what I've been seeing just in the last day or two is the beans are yellowing out further, but in some of those pockets where I've been hunting, they're still really green.
Right.
And to me, it's just shrinking that area.
It's definitely a thing, mid to late September, to start keying in on what's still green, because they'll be in that stuff.
Yeah. Whatever's out of the sunlight, really, just those field edges will stay. Yeah.
But when you got into that timber more, did you see any, you said you saw a rub on the side of the road. Was there any more of that in the timber, sign-wise?
Not rubs, but we were not far in the timber, 20 yards in off of the ditch from the road, because I was worried, but we had that east wind that was pulling out towards the road, and I could see the thicket edge where I could see them bedding in, and I'm like, I just don't want to push any further. And so I think it was a good spot. I wish I would have had a limb saw with me, and I forgot it in the last 4 days, and I haven't done anything about it. It's here, but it's
I
not.
thought you left it in PA.
No, it's here. It's just not in my pack.
Sure.
But there was just one limb in the way that made it difficult to get to that weak side. But dude, the tree I had that kunai platform up in there, and then I also had another big branch parallel, and then another branch. I could walk 360 around the tree.
There you go.
And it was sweet. But I've only been hunting 2 sticks high this whole week, just because the way the cover is, you don't really need, and you can't really shoot if you get higher, especially getting some of that thicker stuff.
Right. Yep.
It's been pretty interesting. But
this time of the year, with the weather situation, with the food abundance, even just high quality hunting farms, just
it's still hard. Like, you just have to have things go your way. Like this time of the year, you got to have one bed in a certain spot or have just like perfect situation. So it's like, I mean, the leases that most of these guys have been hunting, it's like, it's a middle of the road hunting farm, it's like, it hasn't been managed at all. It's just ground that hasn't been tilled. Like, that's it. And so it's like, I mean, being able to just,
it's our first year with it too.
yeah, for sure. And so it's like, it's interesting to like there are good deer in the area that are using it for sure, but it's like you just need a little bit of luck in just certain situations, but
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, I just did my rule. I had my mic too far away. All right. Well, we're going to trade you guys. We're going to trade the twin brothers out for Joel and Josh.
perfect. Sweet.
Ben's going to help me co-host.
Oh, nice.
Good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And for anybody listening, these guys, Identical Draw, again, check them out. YouTube, Instagram, the whole deal. So
That's it.
check them
Thanks.
out.
Perfect.
All right. This is Josh's 19th podcast appearance.
Really? You've been on it quite a bit?
He's been on it a little bit. We've hunted together a lot, so that makes sense.
That's fun.
Test.
You're here. You're good, man. Feel good?
I always feel good.
All right. So now replacing Tom and Nate, we've got Josh Ilderton to my right from the Untamed, and we've got Joel Burham, Whitetail Fit, over here on the left of Ben. What's up, guys?
Not a whole lot. How are you doing?
Well,
It's been a fun camp.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been I've known Josh for a long time, and the listeners have heard him. But Joel, you're brand new to here, and this is the first time getting to meet you. So it's been a pleasure. It's been fun.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a lot of fun. Everybody in camp has been awesome, and this is cool for me to come out and do this because I originally grew up in Nebraska and lived my whole life in Nebraska. Just recently, this last year, I moved to Iowa. So it's kind of funny, when I leave Nebraska, now we're starting a Nebraska camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, but it's fun that the Krick boys got this together, and it's like, man, I'm so glad they did because it's just, I hope this is something we can do every year, like a traditional hunt, just come back to. But it's just good vibes in camp, good people, and I love whitetail hunting. I love the strategy of whitetail hunting throughout the whole season, early season, pre-rut, late season, everything. I like trying to figure them out. As long as the season's open, I like to figure them out, So it's been fun dissecting all of this stuff and picking things apart. I've been mainly hunting the public ground stuff. And yeah, it's been a riot.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Josh? Is this up your alley? You used to hunting stuff like this, or is this kind of new to you?
Well, I mean, it's new. I mean, camp. I've enjoyed camp. I'm more of a social hunter. No, but I do. I like sitting at camp and discussing, having all the discussions about the industry, the ins and outs of strategies, just everything we've talked about. I mean, I really enjoy it. I mean, and I hadn't met Nate and Thomas and Ben. We met at the summit last year. Up in Wisconsin with Vortex, and then getting to hang out even more. It's great hanging out with good people. I hadn't hung out with Joel, which we've had some good conversations, and that's what camp's all about. I mean, hunting out here has definitely been a struggle. But if you look at it, I mean, there's just not a lot of timber, and I'm used to timber, and you can't see because of the crops. I think the deer are in the crops. The beans are 3 to 5 foot high. The corn, my God, they raise corn out here. 10 to 12 foot high. And I just don't think we can see. I mean, and the timber plots are so small. I have found acorns, but I haven't found acorns dropping on the ground, like where we were at earlier with Nate looking for his deer. I mean, there was acorns on the ground, but I hadn't found any oaks that were actually dropping yet. So it's been tough, but that's hunting. I mean, they don't call it killing for a reason, and I've had a blast. It's just another life experience and I've enjoyed it, and that's why I hunt.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Joel, have you experienced hunting camp with other guys and stuff before? Is that something that you do often, or is it somewhat new? What's up for you?
I've done it before, just either just buddies that I've got around, growing up with. But and on the road, I've been traveling a ton with what I do now. I find myself in a lot of situations where like going up to like deer camp with the Hush Boys early on. That was kind of like the first Western camp that I did, right? And from then on, it's just I've always looked for aligning with good people within the industry and just experiencing new things that I haven't ever, like the Western side of stuff coming into this industry, it was new for me, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just like I can't go a September without elk. Like I have to go out west now, and which is cool because it's like we got Ben out here and he's from out west and now he's out whitetail hunting, and it's like we're merging those two worlds a little bit, which is really cool. But yeah, I've definitely experienced the camp life situation just all over the country hunting with different people. But I am kind of like I do a lot of run and gun, a lot of solo hunting. And that's kind of my bread and butter is the whitetail, like solo hunting. And I go out and kind of do my thing, but I love getting together in camps like this and just like a meeting of the minds, like, especially on the whitetail front for Nebraska, the Krick boys are super knowledgeable about, this area specifically. And just, I love bouncing ideas off of them boys and y'all, hunting the big timber in the big woods. It's like correlating those different strategies with the Midwest. How do those two things look? What are the differences? I know you like to hunt a lot off the ground, and I've killed quite a few whitetail off the ground in the Midwest. So it's kind of a cool like merging of, okay, how would you approach this property?
Yep.
Whether it be a wind or thermals running or just what's the food source. And it's just a lot of fun to bounce things like that off everybody in camp,
And we've definitely roughed it this week.
Oh yeah, this place.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the place for
the Krick boys. Have had that's one thing I was going to kind of talk to them about was their hospitality. Probably needs to take an uptick. We really roughed it with the accommodations and food and drink.
Does Nebraska have squatters' rights? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Get some squatters' rights and stay here. I'll just move my family in.
Yeah.
Place is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding to all the listeners. I mean, they have gone above and beyond with the accommodations and food and everything. It's been awesome out here this week.
Well, when we were going to pull in, and I think Thomas had texted us and was like, "Hey, don't go to the exact address. Go to the barn.
Yeah, go to the brown barn.
Brown barn."
Yeah,
like,
here we go.
I was like, "Oh man, we're roughing it this
Yeah.
week. All right, we're gonna stay in the
Sleep
barn
with the horses.
We're sleeping with the horses." And you pull in, you come up, it's like, "Holy cow,
Yeah.
this place is beautiful in here."
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole barn's like built out like a hunting camp.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
I'd say
all,
a hunting lodge more.
Yeah.
than
Oh
anything.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I had to share a bathroom with Beau, though, so you don't want to do that, trust me.
Do you know what he did to me? I said, "Hey," I was like, before we were going out to look for that deer, I was like, "Hey, I have to go in there and take a dump." I was like, "So just make sure your
door's locked.
Your door's locked." And I go to open the door from my bedroom, and I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. I opened up, and Ben's just standing there looking at me inside the bathroom. It scared the shit out of me.
You ran in there real fast.
Yeah, he ran in his room and jumped in there.
He was pretty scared. Thought I was a spider.
I said the other night, I was in there and I was showering, I was tired and getting ready to go to bed, and I couldn't remember which door went to my room. It was the first night in there, and I walked into Ben's room, butt ass naked.
In your birthday suit.
Luckily, he wasn't in there.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah.
Who knows what would happen?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's cool. I mean, because I've met Ben before and been around him, but we've never shared a hunting camp or anything. So
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it again, but
yeah, that's exactly right.
yeah.
I've been trying to get away from him for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And it
Just keep showing up.
Yeah,
We're talking about squatters.
I mean, he's like a leech in the swamp, man.
He's talked about getting keys made for me because I'm just down there all the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
No, we've had a good time.
How's it been for you guys to kind of come in, like you say, more bigwood style hunting to come in here? I know you got an Iowa tag, right?
Yep.
So you did a little bit of scouting on your way down?
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah, but I feel like even in Iowa is a lot different than here as far as like here's I feel kind of lost at least at this time of year of knowing what to do, and just bouncing off of all you guys has been super helpful to help with that learning curve, because it's just I am used to timber and then being able to just hike and find the sign, and I'm not really worried about blowing out deer because there's not that many deer, which there's really not a ton here either, but I feel a little bit more reserved and worried about like pushing into certain things and blowing them out off of smaller properties, which they're not like tiny by any means, but in accordance to thousands of acres, down to 80 or 160, like that's a difference. So it's been interesting to be able to learn and try to learn that, I guess.
I mean, I think that the weather also plays a big part. I mean, there's been some deer seen this week, but I don't think that like there's been heavy movement. Yeah. Because of the heat, and we're only we're hunting 2 or 3 hours a day because of the heat. I mean, the going out for morning hunts it's just a bad strategy. I mean, you're going out there and just contaminating the areas, and
everything you're scouting, if you're planning on hunting that for the evening and you push into it in the morning, like say we were only dealing with some of these public pieces are down to 20 acres, 30 acres. Like they're fairly small pieces for the most part. And you put too much pressure on it and you're trying to get into a specific area where you think you might have acorns dropping, or like a little pond or something. Like Nate was sitting over that pond and that buck came straight into that thing. It's like, man, how well could you play that on a morning sit without bumping him out of there?
And I feel like you've only got 30 minutes to an hour in the morning before they're bedded down because of the heat. They're not feeding until 9 or 10 in the morning. I mean, I feel like you got maybe an hour. So there's no running and gunning and checking stuff. And then in the evenings, there's really no running and gunning either to scout, because they're not coming out until the last 30 or 45 minutes. And then to get from that piece, if you're checking this bean field, you're pretty much committed to that bean field.
Right, yeah.
Because you're not going to make it to another area before it's dark on you. So I think that makes it tough too, because the deer movement is just after, right at the end of dusk and early morning, and that's it.
I've been relying pretty heavily on e-scouting with this trip. Like, it seems like every day we come back to camp and stuff, everybody's making food and whatnot, and everybody's got their phone out. It's like,
everybody's
where would
comparing.
you go? What do you think about, it's like everybody's kind of, exactly. It's like, and where are you seeing deer and why, and correlating those things. And right now it's like, for me, early season Nebraska, there are pockets of Nebraska that has heavy oaks. Like, there's a lot of oaks for sure, but there's also pockets like this area, in my opinion, is not, it's not like in Iowa, where you were scouting, there's like probably a lot of oaks, right? And in this area, you might have like one piece, there won't be an oak tree on that piece, but then you go and scout 2 or 3 other pieces of public, and it's like, okay, this piece has the most prominent oak, and you might have a good variety of like red oak, white oak, but also the age of the oaks are going to be different. So you might have more mature oaks and more like younger growth. One of those trees are probably going to be dropping. Maybe not all of them, but once you find that one that's really producing, like a good white oak, it seems like deer prefer white oak quite a bit more than the red oaks. And if you find that tree that's producing and dropping, like you walk in and it sounds like it's raining on them, it's like, okay, now we're paying attention to this, because that's like a huge food source. Like, those deer are magnetic to it. Yeah. Whether you have green bean, like if your beans are green, I mean, still, like, they probably are going to prefer the white oak acorns anyway.
And I'm sure they're here, but I have not seen a white oak.
Yeah, I don't think. Was there any on that property we were on earlier? Did you see some?
The one we just walked through. Yeah,
I didn't.
I
didn't see any white oaks there. I saw bur oaks and chestnut oaks.
I saw a lot of red oaks too.
Yeah.
It's like those bigger broadleaf ones. Like, they're not quite as sharp looking. Yeah, like the leaves on them aren't quite as sharp looking. But
yeah, I guess I just didn't notice them.
Yeah, I see white oaks. I look at the bark.
Yeah,
I'm looking at trees.
Sure.
What's
the
that?
Species of it, isn't it?
I guess I don't distinguish the difference between a bur oak and a white oak.
Oh, there's a difference. Yeah. No, I mean,
that's kind of where I was going to.
If you're calling the bur oaks white oaks tonight, yeah, that's what I've been seeing mostly is bur oaks, and I've seen some chestnut oak, the red oaks. But everything I've seen hadn't been hitting the ground. I mean, they're loaded.
Yeah.
But
they're getting ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say the next few days, I mean, they'll be pounding the ground. I mean, that property we're on this morning, they were falling. I mean, as we were walking, they're falling.
Yeah, and, I mean, you saw the sign in there, too.
That
sign. Beau and I looked at each other. We got down to the bottom of that ridge. We're like, yo, this is crazy. Like, the bedding in that thing was wild.
Yeah.
Like, historical beds, like, some of those beds that were cut out underneath those blowdowns and stuff were, like, kicked out like a dang mule deer bed to where for whitetail, that's pretty that's a historical bed they're coming back to year after year.
Yeah, and there was historical rubs around there, fresh rubs. Like it's like north slope keeps it cool. I mean, it all made sense after seeing it and then going back to it, but it was pretty.
And I don't know if you're probably paying attention too, but like I was zooming out and doing the 3D map and laying it down because I was trying to figure out that buck that he hit. We didn't have a whole lot of, real heavy, like, oh, he's going this way on blood. But I was trying to like pick apart even on that ridge. I love looking at like micro terrain. So like even on that ridge, like where like the faint benches would be. And then I was kind of like circling out and getting away from the group a little bit, but I was just trying to find like get ahead of where he might have gone and check some of those benches for blood. And every time I'd come to like one of those little tiny, like barely even shows on the map, there's freaking beds everywhere. And it's just like they find that one little cutout, and it was awesome. That was such a good piece for sign, and definitely something to look back at it for early October. Yeah,
no, it definitely made a lot of sense there. And Joel, do you do a bunch of early season hunting for whitetails typically?
Yeah, it depends on my travels for the elk hunts and the mule deer hunts, because now I'm like September for me is pretty like I've fallen in love with elk really heavily. So if I can get out archery hunting elk, I try to, and usually September is the best time to do that, right? But in Nebraska, I've killed a few deer early season that were actually, my biggest one in early season was he was coming back to the beds in the morning, so I kind of positioned myself into a return route, and it wasn't over a food source. He was coming from a food source, but it was like he was bedding just off of a big cedar thicket. So there's plays in the morning for early season for sure.
Yeah,
and but how we've been doing it, and with the weather, how hot it's been and stuff, how early they're probably returning to beds has been kind of tough. But
yeah, and the knowledge of areas too, of like knowing exactly where they're bedding at or being able to see it. Like I always heard, I mean, and you guys have told me about them bedding in the beans at times, and when we were sitting there and RJ's like, hey, there's a deer out there in the beans. I was like, did he come out of the timber? I didn't
came
see
out
him.
of nowhere.
And I like pull up my binos. I'm like, oh, it's a buck. And all of a sudden, boom, his head goes down. He laid it back down, and you couldn't see him anymore. He was still bedded down, and he'd pick his head up, and he'd see it, and he'd lay back down. And his head would go. I was like, man, that's cool. And then watch him, and he gets up, and he kind of feeds down through the beans, hits this little, like, point of timber that goes out, crosses that, comes along the field edge 35 yards from me, does a circle on the inside corner, comes right to the base of my tree and starts rubbing a tree down below there, which is cool to be able to watch. And it was funny, RJ was like, I saw you grab your bow, I thought you were going to shoot him. And I know what happens if you have does or anything around you. I always grab my bow, especially when they're close, if I have the opportunity to, because if a buck does come in, you got to be ready, because it's hard to make those movements unless you're planning for it.
You weren't going to send it?
No, I didn't even think about it, actually. You said he would have been in trouble with you, though.
Absolutely. 100%. Shoot. I'm not going to shoot a doe at this point, but I'm probably just going to have tag soup. But it wouldn't, if I see horns, I'm sending it. It can be an 11 point.
Yeah.
That's a West Virginia 11 point, the old spiker.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been cool to be able to see that. But that was like, I don't know, just to watch that actually happen and unfold. But it put a huge hole in my plan though, because I was like thinking the whole time they're bedding in this thicket and timber, either going to the beans or going to the corn on the other side of the road. And then I see them out there bedding the beans. I'm like, well, yeah, this is kind of a crapshoot.
I think that's like so standard for these whitetail. They've like I've never successfully predicted anything that they're gonna do. Like, like not one time. Like I get in the tree, and I'm like on this pinch point between this corn and the CRP. Like everything looks perfect. Like a deer's gonna walk down the edge and go into the CRP. Like I'm ready. And I hear steps behind me, and the doe's in the creek, standing in the creek behind me. I'm like, where the hell did she come from? So then I'm trying to turn around. I haven't even thought about the potential of having to shoot at that angle. So I'm like trying to dangle around there. But like every deer I've seen, and like this is whitetail hunting in general, they just never do what you think they're going to do.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, it makes it tough, especially when it comes down to like hunting a mature animal. That's like, because there's I mean, everybody kind of knows with the more mature the animal, the smarter the animal, right? And it just becomes like with whitetail, they're a whole different beast. Like they're not even in the same category as like 3 and 4 year olds are not in the same category as a 5 and 6 year old. And not that we're like, going heavy on trying to target a 6 year old deer with what we're doing at this camp. Because this camp is like, this is hard hunting, like straight up. There's no two ways about it. But like, the unpredictability of like a 6 year old whitetail is absolutely insane, and, but yeah, it's a ton of fun and it's a puzzle that I absolutely love figuring out. Like I obsess about it. It's bad.
Like I was going to get in the corn with them, but man, after talking to Joe and Thomas and Nate, they plant the corn out here so tight because I guess the soil's better. They can plant it tighter. That's why they plant wider rows back east. Like back east, it's 18, 24-inch rows. You can get right in the corn and kind of listen and squat down and see through. Man, out here the corn, it's like a autumn olive thicket back east. I mean, you just can't get through it.
It's a maze, man. It is like
really
that corn we were in today was a little bit more spread apart.
A little bit, it was.
I don't know if you walked into it at all, but when I was in it, you could see 15 yards down a row down in that corn. And I thought about that. I was like, this would actually probably work for your strategy. It was still tighter than at home, but you could see down some of those rows.
Yeah, I think Thomas said he's going to get in the beans this evening. I think it's a great play to just get out there with them.
Yeah. Well, where they're at too, the beans. Not only are the beans in Nebraska like incredibly tall. Like if you just go walk out in the beans, you can absolutely see why a deer can bed in there and disappear completely. But on top of that, where Thomas is hunting, some of the video that I'd seen of the bucks he's after, there's like a couple strips of where some like weedy overgrowth has grown into the beans. And that's even more cover for those deer to bed in. But at the same time, that's kind of like where that video, the one buck he had walking through the middle of the beans, you can see on the backside of where he was walking through, there's weeds overgrowth in the beans. And on the front side, there's weeds overgrowth in the beans. And he was walking through maybe like an 80-yard strip of that. Well, that's just as good as a lot of times that's just as good as like deer or edge animals. So like that could be a hard line, just like a deer walking on the edge of a cornfield is to the break in vegetation right there. And if you can get positioned in those weeds with a wind that's, in your favor and the deer thinks he's got it in his favor and he comes walking through the middle of that strip, you might get a 40-yard shot off of either side and the deer thinks he's safe. He's in the middle of the beans. He doesn't think anything's out there, but you're hunting off the ground right in the middle of them,
Yeah.
There's different strategies for just about any scenario, and it kind of comes down to wind. Can you access it without getting detected? And also not knowing where the deer are bedded in those beans is a big one too, because they can be bedded anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is interesting. No matter where I've went to hunt whitetails, they're edge habitat creatures, and it can be the big edges, like you're saying, between a field and a woods, or it can be just a small vegetation. And we see that back home. You might get these giant clear cuts that are, 100 acres, but inside they're their own micro ecosystem of like the sunlight here, so there's more thick briars and stuff growing up, and then you have just a little bit of an edge where something didn't grow up as good there, and it just creates those little edges throughout it. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. But I don't know what's the play for this evening, Joel? What are you thinking?
I'm going to go to, after what I saw on that, where we were blood tracking this morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to that original spot where I was talking to y'all about all those that I haven't checked out yet, that I've been talking about all week, that I'm like, I should go there. There's probably going to be acorns dropping. After I saw that property, so that property and the public piece that I was talking about, because I hunted that and scouted it last year quite a bit, look very similar. Like the terrain is very similar, big ridge with oaks everywhere. And the way that they were dropping this morning in there, I need to get over there and hunt that. I'll probably just go do a hang and hunt on that big ridge. And there's a creek in the bottom, and the neighboring property looks phenomenal, like the private on the neighbor. So there should be, there should be a play there, at least if they're kind of hitting, because there's big destination ag fields down in the bottom as well. So if they can work off the neighbors, come through those oak flats on the way down to, or those oak ridges on the way down to the big destination egg fields, you can you're positioning yourself in that transition. And the thing is, when it's hot like this, if they don't want to get up out of their bed until like 30 minutes, 20 minutes of last light, you're going to have to catch them in that transition zone. You're not going to catch them on the main destination food source, because they still got to work their way from the beds to that destination food source. So if they hit the oaks and the ridges on those oaks, or if they're bedding in them, like they were bedding in that stuff, very heavily, obviously. So like you were saying, just get tight to that edge, right off that edge of that bedding, but obviously don't go deep enough to blow them out. But you want to get tight right now, because they're not going to move a lot in this heat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ben, what do you think?
I have no idea, honestly. Like, I might get in a tree. The place where I was at last night, I feel like has potential. I did see a buck there a couple days ago that was like after dark. I could just see it in the binoculars on the way out in some mowed, just like weeds. I don't know if that's going to be a good spot for how the wind is right now, so I'll have to look at that and see. But yeah, that's kind of where I don't know. I just probably lean on anybody else who has a good idea. Probably get Garhold again. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'll just try something. Be in a tree somewhere.
I'm with you, Bubby. That's kind of my plan.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Beau, I'll just surround an area and then just
move in,
work towards each other.
We'll just 1, 2, 3 there.
Yeah, and just let her fly.
Yeah, I like that.
Have you got a play tonight, Beau?
No. I need to look at that.
What are you scratching for? I mean,
I feel itchy
Dude,
right now.
I've been this whole time looking for seed ticks.
I feel super itchy, and I don't know.
I've pulled, I think, about a half a dozen off of me while we've been podcasting.
Really?
Yeah.
They must be jumping on me, dude.
Did y'all know they would be this bad when you came here?
We were told there was no ticks.
Who lied to you?
No, So normally I have 100% like promethazine sprayed down. I had those Equinox guard pants, and I had nothing on me. It was totally fine, but I did just wear a regular T-shirt in when we walked in today. And then I was like, I'm fine. And everyone's like, are you checking yourself? And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting here around you, Josh. I was covered in seed ticks. And next thing you know, I'm like starting to itch. And I feel like I got things crawling all over me.
Man's been sitting there like this.
I just can't.
I feel like
and he's just looking at his arms.
I feel
got too many freckles to know like what's not a seed tick.
They do look like freckles.
Golly, after your bed bug story last night, anyway, Josh,
that was a nightmare story. Everybody was trying to check them.
Dude, I was hard like
what's?
Couldn't even sleep. This place is spotless, and I was just. Ugh. Had me tweaked
Dude,
out.
I'm itching so bad, and my long hair is like a bed, or not a bed, a seed tick, like bedding area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Seed tick bedding area.
I know.
I don't know what
Post it
the
up.
play is. I mean, I'm sure that we'll come up with a game plan.
Yeah, we'll put something together, and
Well, based off of what Nate experienced today, I think because we have very similar weather today with the heat, and that water source was I think a key factor that deer was there, because he came into that pond early, like 6:40, whatever it was, and he had 3 bucks at that pond, didn't he say? A couple bucks,
Yeah.
watering, and plays like that right now in the early season. If you have a secluded pond off of a big ridge like that, you got acorns. He had beans on the other side. Everything lined up for that spot, you know. So if you do have a secluded water source or something where you're hunting, not a bad play.
yeah, I can definitely see that. I think what I'm gonna do is I've got some brats that cooked up yesterday. I'm gonna eat them, and I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna peer over some maps and try to figure out a play, because this is our last evening, and we got
The last hurrah, the last stand.
the last stand.
It's going down.
Last stand.
I can feel
Someone's
it.
shooting
It's like
something.
General Custard.
I felt somebody. Yeah. Custard. I thought somebody's going to shoot one last night. I could feel that.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going down. And then
I actually felt good in the spot we were in last night. I thought we had a good game plan. But I do think it's important to get in the oaks.
I felt confident every night, to be honest. That's why I don't really feel it right now, but
I think that's what's fun about what we're doing with like the moving around and doing the hanging hunts and stuff, because every new tree you get in, you're like, this is a spot where it's going down right here, you know? Yeah, I love that run and gun stuff.
it's crazy till it works, right? Like, it seems like almost silly, and then the deer walks under you, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm good at this.
and this is exactly
Knew it would
where
happen like this.
on any hunt that I think it's really important, because I feel like I get into these situations more times than not where it's coming down to the last day or so of like figuring it. It's just like continuing just to do the thing, because you don't know. And you were texting me last night when you're in the tree, same thing. You're like, oh, it takes 15 seconds.
That's it. That's all you're looking
for everything to change and to happen.
One deer in 15 seconds. That's
Yep. It goes from slow to
right.
done deal.
Yeah.
I'm itching so bad right now.
Well, my hand, I think I got them on my hand.
Dude, I don't want to take my shirt off on your podcast, dude, but I feel like they're crawling at my rib cage.
Somebody should have warned y'all coming out here. That's hilarious. Yeah, we ain't got seed ticks. Meanwhile, your cameraman's just absolutely covered head and toe.
Little
I've never
suckers.
experienced.
What was hilarious was we're riding back, and I see Mason, like he's leaned up looking at his legs, and he's like this, and I look over, and he's got brown pants on, or he's got the grayish brown, and I looked, and I was like, oh, dude, we're pulling over, man. Strip now, immediately. Like, his pants were discolored because, I mean, there was thousands all over him. And he was like, is that what that is? And I was like, yeah, dude, you're going to get eat up.
Burn it.
And
You need to check your truck seats.
and then Thomas and Nate went past us laughing at us because we were both out. I had a few on me, maybe hundreds.
Yeah.
And I was just knocking them off, and they're laughing at me. And then we get back in the truck, and Mason strips down. And he's still looking at his legs and picking. And we get down the road a couple miles, and Thomas and Nate are on the side of the road doing the same thing.
Karma. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, here we are, not thinking anything of it.
Yeah, we went
We
to get gas.
texted you all and gave you warnings.
You
today.
did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
my
yeah,
group.
it's in the group text.
I
Check
said,
y'all
hey,
for tips.
just let y'all know we're covered in sea tick.
I didn't see that.
I'm going to see if there's any evidence of this.
Oh, I don't know why you all overlooked it.
What were we doing? In seed rocks.
Yeah, what were y'all doing in the truck together?
We went to the gas station.
Yeah, we got some drinks, some snacks. We were hanging out, just having a good time, conversations.
Talking
That's
about
why when you
food
get back
allergies.
in your truck this evening, you rode back with all them sea ticks and didn't get them out. Y'all going to get eat up with them again.
Man, I'm glad we took your truck.
Dude. The whole way back to Pennsylvania tomorrow, just getting
Just
eat
crawling
up.
with it.
They'll infest your home hunting grounds from your truck. It'll be over.
I can't. I don't know if it's in my head right now.
It
but-
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's placebo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm clean.
Yeah.
This is a fun hunting camp. We're going
Yeah.
to have to do this again next year.
Yeah, this has been fun getting to hang out. And anybody that's listening, I'd highly recommend. You got buddies and stuff. I know it's deer hunting's also, it's fun to get serious and chase after a deer or do whatever, but make sure you make some time to just hang out with buddies, whether it's if you have your own camp or you rent a place, an Airbnb, or you set up a tent in a parking lot, like whatever it is. Hunting camp's about the people you're with, not necessarily the four walls. We're just lucky that this happens to be a pretty sick place and we got good people here.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are all right.
House is
It's
nice.
been a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap this one up and get ready because we got to get out. We're going to shoot something this evening here. But let's go around the table, let everyone know where they can find you. Anybody can follow along. Ben, let's start with you.
Yeah, you can find me at home most days if I'm not doing anything. My channel's all under Shed Crazy, so YouTube, Instagram, everything like that. And I make videos. I have a new video every Saturday. That's it.
And and it's funny as hell, so you might laugh a little bit. What about you, Joel?
So my channel is Whitetail Fit on YouTube, all the social medias. The website is whitetailfit.com. But yeah, just travel all over the country, bow hunt. I love gear. I love tips and tricks and that type of stuff, bow builds, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, check out the YouTube. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, nice. Josh?
Yeah, you can just follow us at the Untamed. Everything is the Untamed, and then the website's the Untamed Hunt.
Awesome.
On YouTube and stuff, so.
That's it. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Hey, guys. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this conversation, share it with your buddies. Leave us a rating, a review, and subscribe. If you want to check out more content like this, there's plenty in the links below. We truly appreciate having you guys along with us.